Hey, happy Friday. This is the She Heals Radio Show. I am your host, Whitney J. Welcome, welcome. It is Friday, September 21st, 2018. I hope everybody is doing well. If you are watching via Facebook Live, please hit the like button, comment. I would love to see you. Share it to your page, and let's just get in. Thanks, Lakeisha, for sharing it. Thanks, Octavia. How is everybody doing? I hope that everyone had a great week. I'm going to be honest with you. This has been a week for me. It's been a really, really tough week, but God is in total control. And so one of the things I want to talk about for our first segment, the She Heals Inspiration segment, is the notice that we need people. If you can see me on live, you probably see this white thing on my arm. I shared earlier this week via my Facebook Live that, back in July, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and apparently I've had it for 2 years. I was misdiagnosed with something else, and it was really difficult, and I have been through spinal taps and MRIs and CAT scans of my brain and all kinds of blood work and all kinds of appointments. And so finally they put in on this week this IV PICC line that I will now have to have medicine for the next month to treat it because the first treatment didn't work. And so when when it first happened, I was in pretty good spirits, and over a while I kind of got on my nerves. I'm in constant pain, and I was just kind of annoyed with it. And then, when they were explaining to me this procedure, I just thought I was going to have a regular, IV that you see when you're in the hospital, and it was going to be no big deal, and I would just at night hook my IV up to the medicine, just like it looks in the hospital, and that was it. And when I went to have the procedure done on Wednesday, I went alone because I thought it was going to be something I'd be in and out, no big deal. And, it's a lot more involved. They had to numb my arm, and the tube is, through my arm, over my shoulder and through my heart, down to my heart. And I have to carry this bag around with a pump in it. And this pump is 24 hours, it's pumping medication. And then every night I have to clean the PICC line, give myself saline and blood thinner in the PICC line. And then I have to, change the bag and hook myself up back to the pump. And it's this whole, production that is happening. And, then there's so many limitations. I can't work out, and I can't cook, and I can't do so many things. And I just really was frustrated because I just felt like I didn't understand, and maybe I didn't ask enough questions, and it was going to require me to need a lot more help than what I'm used to getting. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit. That's part of what I want to talk about is getting help. I am a tough chick, and I'm not a tough chick because I want to be a tough chick. I'm a tough chick because life has made me tough. And one of the things, I get used to kind of being on my own. And yes, I have plenty of family and friends and coworkers, and church family that will support me and that do support me. I'm not saying that, but I'm just kind of used to being a lone ranger. And I tend to try to handle things myself because I don't want people to be worried. I don't want to burden people with my own problems because people have problems of their own, those kind of things. And so I get really discouraged. And, when I was at the hospital, I had this moment where, they were having some issues with finding my vein. And so I was getting this needle multiple times. And needles don't bother me too much. I can handle it. But this is like a numbing, it's almost like a Novocaine or something you would use in the dentist's office, and it burns. And so it stings, as a normal needle would, but then it burns really bad. And so after the third or fourth time, it was starting to hurt. And I was frustrated because I was alone. There was nobody there to hold my hand. There was nobody there to tell me to breathe. I was just kind of by myself. And I realized, I made a mistake, and I probably should have asked, a family member or a friend or somebody to come to this procedure with me. And I had opportunity because school was closed Wednesday. So I have a lot of friends and family that are educators, and somebody probably could have came, and would have had I have opened my mouth and asked. And so, I was really frustrated. And then, today I was chatting with a coworker, and she's like, well, how can we help you? And I was like, I don't know. And, there are obvious things that I need help with, but I struggle sometimes with asking for help. And, people struggle with asking for help for many reasons. Sometimes it's a pride issue. It's, I want to handle it myself. And, rarely do I feel that way, but it does happen on occasion where I just I don't want nobody's help. I want to handle it myself so I can feel like I did it. But, that is a reason why some people don't ask for help. Other times it's a shame response. That's definitely where I fall in, is that I feel bad. Like I should be able to do these things for myself. And I must be a bad person or a bad mother or a bad teacher or a bad whatever because I can't do these things because I need help. So I look at it as shame, and other people I know struggle with that as well. And some people just don't know how. Maybe they're not used to help being available. I was blessed to be raised by a very supportive and helpful family. And so I don't know what it's like to need help and not have somebody I can go and ask. That's not my norm. But there are people that they have no idea the concept of like somebody will actually step in and help me. Somebody cares enough about me. And so there's many reasons why we don't ask for help. But the bottom line is we got to ask for help because we need people. And sometimes because life has dealt us a certain hand, we kind of take it and we just kind of turn off that need for people. And we just kind of say, well, you know what, this just must be my life. And so I guess I just don't, I don't want to ask because I'm afraid of rejection, or, I don't need, they don't need me. They don't care about me. And so we give into that voice that the enemy tells us that we're not good enough. And that is simply not true. We have to learn, though, how to ask for help and communicate what we need. And that takes knowing what we need. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed and we're in the thick of the fire that we can't even take a deep breath and stop for a moment to assess the situation. Today, it's been an off day for me. I wasn't feeling well. I started a new medication today, and one of the side effects is nausea. And for me, feeling nauseous is like one of the worst feelings ever. I can handle pain, but for some reason, feeling uncomfortable really bothers me. And so, all day I was nauseous and trying to teach and trying to, just kind of keep my head, together. And I was feeling kind of down because I have this, big thing all over my arm and this bag that I have to carry. And I was feeling a little insecure about it and how it looks, and, seeing people look at it and kind of wondering what's wrong with me. And, I had all these thoughts that were going through my head, and I had to take a moment. I actually just had to go to the bathroom and just sit and pray for a second, because I could feel myself getting overwhelmed, and all those thoughts were, negative thoughts were coming, and they were, trying to spin out of control. And so I had to stop, and I had to go pray, and I had to say, God, I don't need you to take the pain away. I need you to give me the strength to endure. So give me the strength to endure this process, because this process is going to yield healing. So after this, the doctors, were saying I may have to do this again, or it could possibly still be multiple sclerosis. And what I'm saying is I'm totally healed, and I'm just in this 4-week process, and this is the last thing. And so you have to, really get in tune with what do you need, and asking God for what you need. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to pray and say, God, I need your peace right now, because I have so many thoughts running through my head right now. And I'm just not sure what to think and what to feel. And Lord, I really need your help. And I just really was struggling, and, it was really difficult. And, our banner fell, but we just going to let that ride, because you know what? The enemy has been trying me all day, and I'm not going to give him an inch. And so we're just going to just move forward. But a lot of times, it's just those overwhelming thoughts and feelings. And you're just like, God, why are you allowing all of this to happen right now? And like every time I turn around, guys, something else is happening. And, if being, I already have a unique situation that has a lot of layers, and then to get sick on top of it. And then for the first treatment not to work, it was just like, God, cut me some slack here. Like, why do I have to go through this? And now I have to wear this bag. I feel like I'm 100 years old walking around with this pump bag, and, this whole thing that people stop and look at. And, God, this is not what I wanted. And, why are you allowing this, and now I can't do hair, that's my side hustle, but I can't do that because sometimes I can't even feel my hands. And so, it's like, God, how am I going to, make that extra money that I need if I can't do the skill that I need to make it? And so I said all that to say, you got to know what you need, and you got to call it out to the Father. And here's the thing. I don't have an answer right now, right? I wish I could tell you that God worked all of that out today when I had this mental breakdown in the bathroom at work, but he didn't. But I can tell you this, his peace surpasses all understanding. And sometimes you got to hold on to that peace with all you can. And also you got to reach out and you have to ask for help. I talked about a few weeks ago having a tool, like a pain management plan. I talked about being pregnant and how when you put together a delivery plan, you have to have a pain management plan for life. Who are the people that are a part of your plan? What are the things that are a part of your plan? And so for me, I had to reach out, and, I have some family and some friends that I know I can reach out to. And I had to say, listen, I'm struggling. I need you to pray. That was what I needed in that moment, is I need you to pray for me because I'm struggling. My thoughts are all over the place. I'm not really sure, what to do, what to say, or what to think. And I need you to intervene because I'm really having a rough time. I don't feel well. And it's kind of hard to remain positive right now because I'm just struggling. And so I was honest about where I was, and I communicated what I needed, and the need was met. The people that I reached out to immediately started praying. And how do I know that? Because I could feel their prayers, and I could feel that I was starting to have a different perspective, and that God was giving me some peace. And, even right now, right before we went on the air, I had to send a text to one of my, my trusted people to say, listen, I still need you to pray because I really don't feel good. And, I'm disappointed and I have all these thoughts and feelings. I need you to help. And so you have to ask for help. I think sometimes we get so caught up in how we're going to look to people, and we miss out on ample opportunity to get the help that we need. And sometimes the answer that we want to whatever we prayed is in the help. So prime example, if I am praying and like, Lord, let's say I didn't have food to eat. Like, Lord, I don't have food to eat. Provide food for my family. And then I go somewhere and it says, if you need help with food for your family, call this number. Well, if I don't call the number, I'm not going to get the help. I have to make a move. I have to do something. And so sometimes we got to put that pride aside and be willing to say, yeah, I need some help. And, for me, I struggle with that because oftentimes I don't stop, enough. I'm just always moving. Like, all right, well, let me try this and let me try that. And I don't stop, long enough to even assess the situation to see what type of help I need. Or, I'm conditioned to say, if someone says, well, what do you need? I don't always know. And so that's one thing I want you guys to think about. If you see someone that is struggling or you suspect that they're struggling, sometimes asking them, like, how can I help, is not always the best question, because sometimes they genuinely do not know. Like, I don't know what I need help with. I need help with everything, but sometimes I don't know and I'm already overwhelmed and I just don't have a thought to give that answer. So it's easier to just say, you know what, I don't know, or just pray, when there could be some tangible things that I could get help with. So when you see someone that looks like they need help, pray and seek God and see if God will reveal to you a need that you can just meet. Because not everyone is that aware because they're in it, right? So if you're in a fire and you're literally being burnt up at the moment, you don't have the wherewithal to ask for an extinguisher because you're burning, you're yelling, you're in pain, right? And so you are going to rely on other people to step in and help you because there's no way that you're going to be able to communicate that need because you're in the midst of the fire. That is how some people feel when they are in the midst of a storm, is that they are in a fire and they don't have the language to say, I need this. And they don't have the language to say, help me. All they can do is just be consumed. And that's what's happening. So sometimes you have to make, a bold gesture to just reach out and help someone. And, I'm thankful that there are people in my life that will just meet a need. Like, even though I didn't know I needed it, they may call and say, you know what, I'm gonna come get your kids. Or, you know what, here's a gift card. Here's $100. Here, I prayed for you. Here, let me call you and pray with you real quick. Or let me give you a hug. Sometimes all you need is simple things, but you have to have some awareness. And, even when you don't know, say that. Just say, I don't know. It is so freeing when you do that, but you got to ask for help. And, I regret not asking someone to go to the hospital with me this week, because when I was in that moment where I was really uncomfortable and I was in pain, there was this part of me that really wanted to break down. And I just felt like the nurse, the person that was performing the procedure, she was already stressed. You could see it because she had to pluck me with the needle several times and the vein kept moving. So she was already stressed. You could see her facial expression. And so I felt like I had to hold in my tears because I didn't want to make her feel bad. But then who was there for me? And so it was this hard thing, but it's a situation I put myself in because I could have easily reached out and said, hey, can someone go to the hospital with me? I'm having this outpatient procedure done. So we got to get better at that, folks. We got to start asking for help. It's nothing wrong with it at all. It is nothing wrong with it. But also, you have to change your perspective. For me, I search for the positive in the sea of negativity. So if there is something going on, I'm going to find something good. And, at my old school that I used to teach at, we had this slogan that said, focus on what's strong, not on what's wrong. And so I will find something good to try to channel some of that positive energy to get through whatever it is I'm going through. And so, I was really stressed out because I have to see this specialist once a week for the next, I don't even know how long, at least the next 6 weeks. And I'm like, how am I going to afford to be able to take off work once a week to go see a specialist? And with specialists, you're not making appointments, they're telling you when they're available. So it's not like you can say, oh, I can only do Mondays. Specialists, they book up quickly. And so it could be a month away. So you kind of have to take what you can get. And so I remember calling and I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to get these. And I don't have enough leave to do this. And then, I'm a teacher, so I don't have a job that I can just get up and go. I actually have to have plans and a person in place to cover me. And so I was really worried, like, God, well, if I didn't get sick in the first place, none of this would have happened. So why did you allow me to be sick? Like, why did I need to go through this? And now all these things, like, God, I'm a single parent. You know how hard it is to take off work. Like, why are you constantly putting me through something? And God was like, because I have something for you and I need you to be prepared. And I need you to also see that I go before you and I order everything and I work every detail to the T. And so here we are. I'm stressed out about these appointments. And so I call, it's through University of Maryland. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go downtown. And so I call and I'm like, okay, I got to make these appointments. And they say, okay, well, what office do you want to go to? And I said, well, I live in Owings Mills, so I guess I can go to Baltimore. And they said, well, we need you to come in the next week, but we don't have an opening in that office. Would you be willing to go to our office in Columbia? And you kind of need to, because we need you to come in next week. And I said, Columbia? I said, oh, I teach in Columbia. Where is it in Columbia? She gave me the address and it is right next door to my school. Literally, I walked to the appointment and the time that she had was during my lunch break. So I didn't have to worry about any kids. I didn't have to worry. I literally walked across the parking lot and went to my appointment and came back and went back to my classroom. And so when I got there and I was like, oh yeah, I teach right next door. The doctor said, oh, well, this is wonderful. You know what? We'll just schedule all your appointments here. So that way, we'll work around your schedule. What's your planning period? What's your lunch period? We'll work around that for you so you don't have to take off work. And, I explained. Then she goes, well, wait, you have to come in weekly, but what time can you be there? Like, how early do you have to be at work? And I said, well, I have to be at work at 8:30, but I typically get there at 7:30. She said, no problem. You know what? One day a week, one of the doctors comes in early. You can come in before you have to go to work. And so it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, this clearly was God, right? He ordered my steps so that I didn't even have to worry. Here I was all stressed about having to take off work and get a sub and write sub plans. And he literally removed it. And I drive past this office every day and knew that it was University of Maryland and never knew what type of doctors were there. And my doctor is there. And so I said that to say that even though God may allow some crap to go down, he will provide everything that you need in the midst of it going down. And so even though I'm over being sick already, I'm over carrying this bag, I'm over the entire thing, he has ordered every single step. Even though it's really embarrassing to me to wear this big old bag and it just looks crazy to me, you know what? I'm going to find a way to make it look cute, because I'm not going to be defeated for the next 4 weeks, because God has been way too good and he's been faithful in so many areas of my life. Why would he not be faithful now? And so I have to, you got to learn how to encourage yourself as well. Like, not only just ask for help, but you got to learn how to put a word up for yourself and just say, you know what, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make it. I'm going to beat this. And, some things happened that, I was hoping were happening and they weren't working out. And I just had a lot of disappointment this week. And yet I had to still say, you know what? God, you're in control. Even though right now I feel uncomfortable, you're in control. Even though right now I don't like where I am, you are in control. Even though right now, God, I'm angry because I feel like I've been through enough and I don't deserve this. I know you're in control. So I dare you to not only ask for help, but cry out to God. One of my favorite hymns is My Help Cometh from the Lord. And it says that I will lift up my eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. And I used to sing that all the time as a kid, because that's at my family church. We always sung with hymns. And so it was great, but it started to mean something to me a little bit later in life. I'm like, really, God, I need you to be my help. And so I'm crying out to him and I'm saying, Lord, help. Lord, you know this situation. You know what's coming on the other side of it. But Lord, I need your help. And I dare you to open up your mouth and say, Lord, I need your help. You know, we don't have to be shameful. We don't have to feel embarrassed. We don't have to feel like, well, I'm saved and I should know better. We are human, and it is okay to struggle. What's not okay is to not get help when it's available. You know, it's kind of like, somebody that is crying out and you're right there. All you got to do is ask. Right? All you have to do is ask. And sometimes I think that, we let our pride get in the way, and we let our own thoughts and feelings, and we have these preconceived notions about what the response is going to be. So for me, I always think the response is going to be negative. I try to prepare myself for the worst. But the flip side of that is I don't ever prepare or have a spirit of expectancy for good things. And so I'm always prepared for the worst thing. And then I'll say, well, this probably ain't going to work out. And then guess what happens? I've now had a self-fulfilling prophecy. It doesn't work out. And so you got to check how you speak and what you speak over your life. And you got to check what you say and how you think. And so you got to get to that place where you say, you know what, God, I need help. Lord, show me the way. Lord, I don't have the answers. I just know I'm in the thick of this fire, and all I see is fire. All I feel is flames. All I see is smoke, and all I smell is smoke. All 5 of my senses are tied up in this fire that I'm in right now. So I'm going to need you to intervene like only you can, God. I need you to see what I don't see and help me to feel what I should be feeling that I don't feel. And I need you to help me to hear what I need to hear, and think what I need to think, and smell what I need to smell, and touch and taste what I need to touch and taste. Lord, I need you to be all over me right now, because I am feeling consumed by the fire. Oftentimes we're in the fire, we feel consumed, and we're not. Have you ever seen somebody, I used to laugh. I had a friend who was really, really, really tall. And she was really tall and skinny, and she was afraid to swim. She didn't swim. And she would get in the pool, and she would get in like 4 feet and be holding on to the sides. Now, mind you, she's probably 5.5 feet tall. So she's in 4 feet of water. Literally, it's probably up to her, legs or whatever. She's in no danger, right? But in her mind, she is fearful. She would hold on, to the edge of the pool, like, oh my gosh, don't let me go. Hold my hand. And we're like, chick, you're fine. You're fine. And so sometimes we're consumed by a fire, and that's all we see and that's all we feel. And God's like, but you're fine. You're fine. It's not as bad as you think it is. You just got to reach out to me. I'm right here. And so if you're feeling like you're under attack, like you're in the fire, I dare you just to ask for help. You may find that you're not on fire. You may find that you're in 4 feet of water, and all you got to do is make a move and trust God. You may find that, you are on fire, but you are under the authority and the power of a God who can change the atmosphere, who's not limited by your fire. And so I just dare that you take time to ask for help, be honest about where you are. We need people. And we need God, and he needs us to give that to him. So put that pride aside and ask for help. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I have an amazing guest. I cannot wait. We're going to talk about health and getting that body together in direct connection and with a relationship with God. This is the She Heals Radio Show with your host, Whitney J. See you soon.
Hi, AGR listeners. My name is Sonia Williams, and I am a financial empowerment coach with World Financial Group. We are on a mission to financially educate 1 million families by 2020. We will teach you how money works, how to manage your own money, and how to make your money work for you. And all of the services we provide are 100% free. So please give me a call. My phone number is 571-316-5877. Again, this is Sonia Williams, and my phone number is 571-316-5877.
Do you or someone you may know have a child with disabilities? Are you overwhelmed by the special education process? Do you need help? My name is Eva Queen, founder and executive director of Community Advocates for You, Incorporated. Community Advocates is a nonprofit whose mission and values are rooted in compassion, integrity, and a desire to support the disabled within the African American community. We are a network of professionals, parents, and community partners who have joined forces to provide person-centered support to children with disabilities and their families. All of our services are free. Community Advocates for You provides parent trainings, community case management, personalized IEP review and support, and DDA Support Brokerage. For more information, email us at help@advocatesforyou.org. I'm going to spell that out for you. It's advocates, ADVOCATES, the number 4, YOU.org. Or you can visit us on our website at www.advocatesforyou.org. You can reach us by phone at 443-219-2883. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello. This is Pastor Deborah Burris coming to you live from Awesome God Radio. Helen Keller once said, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." I would like to invite each of you to join me in my premiere show entitled Heart Matters, beginning Monday, July the 30th at 8 p.m. We're going to have a good time, and I look forward to you joining me because your heart truly matters.
It's the Good Life Gospel Show. Hosts AJ, Kay, Rissa, and Tiffany J. Great topics, inspiration, and laughter. Every Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. Right here on AwesomeGodRadio.com. On AwesomeGodRadio.com. The number one station for gospel music worldwide.
Are you a church or ministry looking to grow your audience?
Awesome God Radio has exactly what you need. Weekly pre-recorded broadcasts, live radio shows, advertising,
Ministry partnerships, and more.
For more information, visit us at awesomegodradio.com.
Hello, hello, hello. I am Shakira Johnson.
And this is Taylor Kay on the mic.
And we are Women in Business International Radio. Be sure to tune in each and every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on Awesome God Radio.
And also check out our website at
www.wbiradio.org.
What's up, AGR listeners? This is Reggie Rumble Lucas, one half of the Awesome Bros. You can listen to the Awesome Bros show every Thursday at 6 p.m. We'll see you there. All right, peace.
Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Brittany Wright, and don't you move. Stay locked into Awesome God Radio.
You're listening to Awesome God Radio, the home of the After Church Show with Greg and Friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is J.A. Rich, author of Pennsylvania Avenue, a novel, and you're listening to Awesome God Radio.
This is Russ Shanks, and you're tuned in to Awesome God Radio. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to download the app. Keep it locked right here on AwesomeGodRadio.com. Yeah?
Tune in each and every Sunday at 8 p.m. and Wednesday at 11 a.m. to hear the dynamic teaching and powerful preaching from Pastor Jewel Veronica Allen from the Liberty Outreach Center.
Hi, AGR listeners. My name is Sonia Williams, and I am a financial empowerment coach with World Financial Group. We are on a mission to financially educate 1 million families by 2020. We will teach you how money works, how to manage your own money, and how to make your money work for you. And all of the services we provide are 100% free. So please give me a call. My phone number is 571-316-5877. Again, this is Sonia Williams, and my phone number is 571-316-5877.
Hey guys, it's Sierra Arnold, realtor and contractor with Arnold Construction Group, providing all of your real estate and construction needs under one roof. Give us a call at 443-429-2149 to schedule a consultation today. And you're listening to Awesome God Radio.
Hey guys, it's Danelle from Girls Talk Radio. Listen every Wednesday from 5 to 7, and guess what? We're going to talk about everything. Tune in.
Hey. Welcome back to the She Heals Radio Show. I am your host, Whitney J. Thanks for coming back from the break. And in the studio, thanks for the hand clap. In the studio today, we have an amazing woman of God. And I am just so excited to just listen to what she has to say as it relates to taking care of our bodies. And so without further ado, she is a strengths coach, right?
Yep.
I want to make sure I said that right. A strengths coach. So welcome to the She Heals Radio Show, Alexandra Francois.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex.
Hello.
So, Alex, I watch your videos on Facebook every day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to get like her because your workouts look so great. And I know if that was me doing it, it would not look the same, but they're so inspiring. And so just talk to me a little bit about your personal views about taking care of your body as it relates to just being a Christian.
Yeah, so I have been strength training ever since like my 9th grade year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, my freshman year of high school. And, once I started, I just found I was raised in a town in which it was predominantly white. I was like the only black kid and everything. And so I really felt excluded, and strength training was my go-to. Not only that, I have an older brother who is 27, and he pushed me around a lot. And so I was like, you know what? One day you're not push me around.
Let me get strong real quick.
And so growing up, my father is a minister, and he's a church planner specifically. And my faith has always been very important to me. And I found inner strength through strength training, and I felt like I grew also in my faith and wanted to connect the two with each other because they correlate in so many ways. Like in 1 Corinthians, the Bible says that our body is a temple. And so I would always be like, okay, Lord, in order for me to do what I need to do for you, I need to be healthy and I need to be strong.
Yes.
And if I'm not healthy and if I'm not strong, I'm not able to fully commit to your purpose. And so, and that's where I took off with it. And when it came to clients, I would always, some places don't accept the faith-based stuff. And so I would just, try to sneak it in a little bit.
Yeah, like, you gonna get this word. Listen.
With your faith, you can do all things, right? And so that's where it all started. And I told God, honestly, between me and him, I said, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this for you.
That is amazing. And so you do like a series of trainings. So talk about what is some of the services that you offer.
So I do one-on-one personal training. I do small group training. I've worked with adolescents as young as 5 years old. I've worked with high school athletes, college athletes. I was able to be an intern for almost a whole year at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Nice.
I'm working in the collegiate atmosphere. I've worked in professional atmosphere. I worked with Chris Paul, he is an NBA basketball player currently for the Houston Rockets.
Nice.
And I worked for his company and trained with him or for him. And I have the opportunity now to be the fitness coordinator at the Weinberg YMCA on 33rd, where I do personal training there.
That's awesome.
I also do strength and conditioning at the Under Armour headquarters with FX Wellness and Fitness. Yeah.
Wow. So you are full through. And what I love is, you and I have connected, and I've reached out and gotten help on food too, because a lot of times, we focus so much on exercising, but it's what we put in our mouth.
It is.
Yeah, it's no joke. So there's two parts to this, right? So there's the exercise, but there's also the eating. Thank you, Quincy, because he knows I put a lot of things in my mouth that I probably shouldn't. But so talk about that a little bit too. Like, how do you balance that? Because I think sometimes people go to one extreme or the other. So either they're like, whatever, I'm just going to eat whatever I want, or some people get so passionate that they don't eat anything. Exactly, So what do you do?
Yeah. So in a 100% scale, eating well is 80% of it.
Jeez.
So there is really no balance when it comes to that scale. But and then the 20 other % is fitness and going in and actually getting activity done. So we have to make sure that what we're intaking and what we're consuming is fueling our body. And when I mean by fueling, I mean by like not pizza unless it's healthy. It could be healthy pizza. Things can be in moderation, right?
Right.
But we have to make sure the majority of what we're putting in ourselves is fueling us more than slowing us down.
Right.
And a lot of your foods that have the oils, heavy in oils, like the bad oils, a lot of foods that are heavy and a lot of unnecessary processed fat. It's just processed food, honestly.
Right.
Just processed food. And so you can enjoy your pizza, you can enjoy your cake, but do it in moderation. You know, cut back on how much you're intaking, because you don't want to go straight in and go straight into the healthy, because the chances of you succeeding with that is really slim.
Yes.
It's baby steps. We didn't come out of the wound running, right? We
Right.
came out crawling. And so like it's literally baby steps, but we have to be intentional about what we're consuming. It's the cheesy stuff that we've been taught since we were little, vegetables and fruits.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking a lot of water. For me, I eat minimum meat, but I do eat meat, but it's not like an American diet is consumed with like
meats and potatoes.
Meat.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like you look at a plate and you go to any restaurant, the biggest part of the plate is the meat. And it shouldn't be. It should be the opposite. The biggest part should be the vegetables or the fruit. Yeah. So we have to have that mindset where the meat isn't the main part of the
you're killing me. I'm kidding. But you're right. You are so right that it is a mindset change. And a lot of times, like, this is what we know. And so, you know, it's generation upon generation that this is what you're used to. So this is what you eat, you know? And so, and sometimes it's survival. Like, this is what I have to eat.
That's true,
you know, but I feel like there are still opportunities that we can eat healthy, even in the midst of our different circumstances.
For sure.
One of the things I know for me, because I have done, you know, the whole, like, I'm going to cut everything out. You know, sometimes that does work. So I used to drink like 6 sodas a day. Coke, vanilla Coke specifically. Oh my God, I loved it. And I mean, 6, 7 sodas a day. I would have a soda before I went to bed every night. No big deal. And I did cut it cold turkey 2.5 years ago, and I have not had one since.
Wow.
Yeah. But like food is different. And so, you know, for me, like I've kind of gone under this umbrella, and you kind of taught me that of like, okay, when you mess up, don't cancel the whole day. So I would do something like, maybe I ate well for breakfast, maybe I slipped up at lunch, and it's like, all right, well, I already messed up, so I might as well, you know, instead of just every good choice counts. So yes, you may have messed up, but what's the next good choice that you can make?
Exactly. You have to be super intentional with it. And just like we are correlating it with our faith, we are super disciplined with our faith, right?
Right.
It requires the same discipline.
We should be,
Yeah, we should be. And so eventually it gets to a time where it's just a routine now. Like you just falling into it and you don't think about it. You just start doing it. But it takes time. It does. It takes a lot of time. But like we said, you have to be very, very intentional.
Yeah, and when I love that word intentional, because one of the things I think I can speak for myself is a lot of times I fail when there is a lack of planning, right?
Yes.
And so I think that I'm just going to wing it. And you really can't. You know what I mean? You can't. And it's just like our walk with God. Like a lot of times we think, you know what, if I just go to church on Sunday, if I read a couple scriptures here and there, like I'm good. And it's just not the case. Like you actually got to be intentional, because the attacks are going to come.
Yep.
And what do you have? You know, I talked about having that plan. Like what do you have, you know, to combat those things when it's coming at you from every angle? So, but I wanted to actually ask you a question in a different realm, because one of the things I learned, like I don't like to exercise. I'm gonna be super transparent. I don't like to exercise, and I would do these workout routines, and it was like pulling teeth for me. Like it took me 20 minutes to go do it because I had to like talk myself into it. I hated it the whole time. But then I would feel good when I was done, right? But the process was terrible. But I remember you saying to me, you got to find what you like.
Yeah,
and so I found that walking was something I liked.
Yep.
And I would walk several miles. Yep. And it made me feel good physically, emotionally, mentally, because I could think, I could pray. And that was kind of my thing. And so, you know, what do you say to the person that's struggling with the fitness part?
Yeah. So like I had told you, finding what they like. You can't not try. Right? You have to try. And getting a membership at a gym, like I work for the Y, and we offer so many services. We have group exercise classes. We have a FitQuest program in which is free. It comes complimentary with your membership.
Wow.
There are so many things to choose when you're at a gym like the YMCA, or even like a Gold's Gym, or any place that offers classes. You never know what you like until you try it.
That is true.
That's the biggest thing. And so like if you're like, oh, I don't like people and I don't like this and I don't like that, if you're already narrowing down things before even trying it, then the chances of you succeeding is very slim. You're putting yourself in a jar when you shouldn't.
Yeah. And that is so true, because I definitely have said those things in the past. Like, I don't want to go work out with other people.
Yeah.
I'm too shy or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is there's an accountability piece.
There's an accountability piece, and it helps. I've worked with a small group before where like 3 ladies out of the 15 were like, we would have never done anything like this unless we actually tried it. And something told them to just try. And now that's all they do is small group training. And they went from never working out with anybody to now working out with people. And they are building relationships in other ways. Like there's a bunch there's so much positivity that comes out of trying something. You just got to try. You got to get over it and just be like, you know what? This is for me. This is for me. I want to choose to be in my best state physically.
Yes.
So if I want to be in my best state, I have to take action. I have to do something. Faith without works is dead, right?
Yes, that's exactly what the word says.
You have to take action. You got to do it.
Yeah, it's so true. I was thinking about, right now I'm on exercise restriction because of the situation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I was just thinking, you know what? I need to, even now, and that I'm in a season that I cannot exercise for the next couple weeks, I need to take this time to be planning what I'm going to do when I can exercise.
For sure.
So that way it doesn't, it doesn't escape me, and I just go back to those negative, routines, because we typically do that. And I think one of the things too is our emotions, right?
Yeah.
They tie in. So talk a little bit about what exercise does for us emotionally.
So exercise has a lot to do with the hormones. So like especially for me, when I'm so stressed out, your hormone levels are always moving with exercise. And exercise is an actual stressor itself. So when for me, especially, like I was going to say, when I work out and I'm stressed out, I love working out so much that once I touch that weight, my hormones are like, okay, this is it. Like now you're in the zone.
Yes.
And everything like goes away afterwards. So you're stressing your body, and exercise is already a stressor. And so when it correlates at the end of the day, your hormone levels are regulating the way that they need to be. Yeah.
And so that's a great, it's a great move to make when you are feeling down and depressed.
And working out has, the CrossFit community is a great example. They have blossomed completely because of that. A lot of people have not only the actual workouts itself challenge the people in a way that shocks the hormones, but the community aspect of it. It's an accountability. Like CrossFit is a community. And so they have succeeded so much, and people love their CrossFit gyms. They call them boxes. People love their CrossFit boxes and will pay hundreds of dollars each month to go CrossFit because of how it makes them feel, and how those who were depressed have like completely changed, have made a 180 with their depression because of the community and the way they've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
That is amazing. And we owe it to God that we give him our best, right? In order to give him our best, we have to be our best.
Exactly.
And so, just talk about what God has done for you through your work in fitness.
So I could go on forever. God has been really good with me through fitness and this industry itself. I moved up here after I graduated in my undergrad from Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to pursue this thing all the way. I got my undergrad in exercise physiology and was like, I'm going to move up to a city where, fitness industry is blossoming and I can really try to make something out of myself with it. And I moved up here to Baltimore, and God has been, more than good to me, honestly, because like I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Right.
I was like, what is gonna happen? And I was given the the opportunity to do the internship at Under Armour.
Awesome.
And I took advantage of it and networked with the people that worked there, and they ended up hiring me for a position, not with training, but they ended up, getting me in the door.
That's
and
amazing.
One of my mentors, Matt Lawrence, who is a phenomenal person.
Yes.
Like, he has just helped me so much build encouragement, or he's just been encouraging me so much in a way that made me see my value more than anything. And he was like, you can do this. Like, I need you to go back to Under Armour and be like, I'm ready to train. Like, this is your time. He talked me up, and I was given an interview and was, given the opportunity to go back. And not only that, but leading and being an administrator at the Y too. God has shown me that, like, through this industry, I could, not only has he shown that he's been faithful to me and promising, because this was a desire, and I seeked him in so many ways. I was like, okay, Lord, I am moving away completely from my family.
Wow, that's tough within itself.
Yeah, you're all I have, but I trust that you will deliver like your word says, and he did.
Yeah, and it's just so amazing that goes, similar to what I was sharing earlier in the show of just, even when he requires those tough things of us, and it may not be an illness, or it could be just a transition.
Yeah.
He orders your steps. And so he allowed and aligned the right people to be around you, during that time, which is phenomenal.
The support up here has been, from you, people like you, and the church at Messiah Community Church in Reisterstown. And God is so good. Like, everyone's always like, you always say that. And I'm like, because I mean it. Like,
right.
God is good.
The support is so real. You're so right.
It's so real. And he's really showed up. And not only that, he's really showed out for sure.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful to you just for all that you are doing. And I know that, it requires work, and it requires preparation, and to, have these individualized plans for different, clients. I know, I work in a different type of individualized field, but I do understand when you're trying to meet the needs of several people. But what I love about you is you are honest, you're transparent, and you're detailed. Like, your work is thorough. Like, you gave me this, I was like, okay, this is great, and just, really just listening and hearing what you need, what the person needs, and then trying to, as you hear from God, assist them. And that is remarkable to me.
Thank you so much.
Another question I wanted to ask you is in reference to strength training. And so I don't think I've lifted a weight a day in my life. I'm be honest. That was not something, I wasn't an athlete. It just wasn't something I was privy to.
Yeah, for sure.
But talk about what it actually does to your body. Because when I think of lifting weights, I think of like being in high school, and like that was like a class for like the football players. That's it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I think about. But I actually don't know much about strength building.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not what everyone says. Especially females like to stay away from lifting weights because they're afraid that they're going to get bulky. But we do not produce enough testosterone in our body. And I'm not even going to use big words, but we just do not produce enough testosterone in our body to become bulky.
Okay.
And so when we do become bulky while strength training, it is because we're consuming too many calories and we're not burning enough. Yeah.
The food.
It's the food. It always goes back to the food, right? So with strength training, we got to make sure that there is a balance in how much calories that we're consuming and the work that we're putting in. And I mean, I'm telling you, when you balance that out, it is a beautiful thing to see. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see. You will see results, and you will be stronger than ever.
And so, I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing myself. I'm thinking to myself, like, I need some replacement behaviors. And so, what are some things that someone can do? Now, I'm going to use myself as an example.
Yeah, sure.
So I eat. That's my stress management, I like to eat.
Yeah.
And so, some people like to shop. Some people do other things, but that's my vice. And so let's say like a day like today, what I would do is go home. I haven't been home yet to eat. So hopefully I can make a change. But like a stressful day or a long day, I would go home and my first thought would be to eat. And I'm going to eat some ice cream or cookie dough or what, something. What is something that I could do that could help me physically relieve that stress and tension? What's just a suggestion?
Well, fruit is a good replacement for that, especially if you have that craving for sweets. Because fruit is already high in that natural sugar, that can actually help your berries, especially like your blueberries could help. What helps me is pineapple. I love pineapple and bananas. But bananas, you got to be careful because you can't have too much of anything. And bananas are high in sugar. But satisfying those cravings, those fruits can really help with that, especially if you have a sweet tooth. Okay. And choosing, like I said in the beginning, being intentional about, choosing healthier snacks instead of craving your cookies and whatever else you crave, being like, okay, I'm going to eat this, Greek yogurt with some granola and I'm going to put some fruit in it because believe it or not, your vegetables, they're high in fiber as well. So they fill you up pretty quickly. So
it's making a good choice.
Just making better choices. And you really, there is no shortcut. Like there really is no shortcut. You have to be intentional about being disciplined and about making the better choices. And always thinking about your goals. I tell my small group training groups and even my one-on-one personal trainer training clients that, take a note card or a sticky note and write what's your focus word? Consistency, for example. If you're trying to be consistent, write it everywhere to where you're always going to be reminded, even when you slip up. Oh, there goes that sticky note that says consistency on it.
Right. So I got to get, or when you're about to slip up.
Yeah. When you're about to. Yeah. Be like, okay, I need to stay consistent. That's my goal. That will help because it literally takes like almost 2 weeks or a little bit less than 2 weeks to make something a routine.
Yes.
So after you get over that hump, you're good. And then mentally you're telling yourself, okay, I got over that hump. Now I'm good. I'm good to go. Because our minds are strong.
Yes, and it's all in our mind.
Yeah,
right?
It's all in our mind. And if you can tell yourself, no, I don't crave that right now. I'm gonna choose this instead. You'll be so shocked how much more powerful you are and how much because the Lord gives us that spirit of discipline, of self-discipline. So once we get over that hump and we're just disciplined and we are staying focused and we're always looking at that word that can help us continue on to the right path, then we're just like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Yes. Thank you. That is so powerful because I think you brought up a great point that it's the mind.
It is.
We have to have the mind in alignment before the body will do anything. Because, I just think about, all the times I've started something and stopped it. It's because my mind wasn't in it. But when my mind was convinced, it got done, and so, that mind piece. But having those replacement behaviors are really important. So I think we have to get to that place that we recognize our struggles and know where we are. Like I said, mine is food. So like I'm a all occasion eater. I eat when I'm happy, eat when I'm sad, but that's like my thing. And so I have to check that because it can become very dangerous because there are times that like I'm eating and then it's like, okay, but why are you eating? Are you eating for nourishment? Are you eating to fill a void? Because if you're eating to fill a void, it's not gonna satisfy you, and then you're gonna keep doing it. Yeah. So why don't we do something else? So what I was doing was walking.
Oh, that's good.
Going on that walk. Like, what? I'm not going to eat that bad thing. I'm gonna go walk, and I'm gonna cry this out, pray it out, whatever it is that I need to do during that walk. And I was doing really well at that. So I need to get back to that place. And so finding what works for you. Is true, but I'm just so glad you brought up the mind because that is so important.
It is so important, and if we can get over those thoughts and start, speaking life into ourselves. You were
Yes.
talking about earlier about that self-encouragement, speaking life
Yeah.
into ourselves and knowing that we can do it. We can do all things through Christ, right?
Yes.
All things. So there's nothing we're not limited to. And right now on Instagram and Facebook, I'm doing a challenge, a 30-day challenge for the month of September, the Faithfully Fit 30. And that's what I'm correlating everything with, growing in faith and in fitness and having that strength to overcome all of our boundaries that is holding us back from reaching our fitness goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. So how can people get in contact with you if they are listening to the show and maybe they're interested in learning more about the services you offer? How can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Faithfully Fit Frenchie, and Frenchie with a Y, not an IE. I'm on Facebook, Alexandra Francois. And actually, if you go on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Frenchie Francois. And I also, you can contact me via email at alexandra.francois@yahoo.com.
Awesome. And so I just want to thank you again for coming on
Thank
the
you so
show.
much for having
We're all, time is almost up. The time goes by so quickly.
I know, that
it
flew
really
by.
does. I just want to do just a few final thoughts. Like I said to earlier, and the whole premise of my show, the whole point of my show is honest, raw, and authentic conversations about a relationship with God.
Yes.
I do not believe that we have to pretend to be okay. And
Yeah.
I honestly think that people are dying and not living their best lives because they feel like they can't be comfortable to say that they're struggling.
Exactly.
And so I say that to say that I'm hoping that my listeners, every week that you listen to this show, that you come out feeling a little bit more encouraged by the testimonies that you hear of the people that come on the show or by anything that is shared on the show, but just really feel that you can just be yourself and be honest. Sometimes I think like, well, I gotta be tough because I'm a mom or because I have this show and so I can't be on here all broken. Well, listen, this week was a broke down week and I'm just owning it, and I'm just, it will not define me. My God is still amazing, but it's okay to be in the moment and say, you know what, I'm really having a hard time. And I think that we have to do that, and we can't run to those negative behaviors. We can't go in private and eat that cake or, go in private and do something else. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Because we're trying to mask how we feel. We just got to be where we are. And so my encouragement to all of our listeners out tonight is just to be who you are and just cry out to God if that's what you need to do. But don't go back to those bad habits when you are hurting. Just be honest about where you are, ask for help, and then receive the help when it comes. Switching gears totally. Do you like to play cards?
I love Uno.
You love Uno?
Uno is like the best game ever.
Yeah. So what's so funny? I don't know how to play Uno that well.
What?
I know. It is like ridiculous. I really don't know how to play Uno that well. But I grew up playing spades. So I was playing spades in elementary school, which I don't even know if you're supposed to do that. But I grew up playing spades and rummy and pinochle. My family, that was like something we did. We would get together and we would play cards and we would sit around the table and just talk about life while we were playing cards. It was just so, it's one of my favorite childhood memories.
That's so cool.
And so tomorrow, at Liberty Outreach Center in Woodlawn, we, Awesome God Radio, are having a spades tournament.
That is so cool.
It starts at 6 p.m. And I think it ends around 9 or 10 or so. But just come out. It's free food. And it's other games. So if you don't play spades, I'm sure there'll be some Uno and some other things that we'll have for people to play. But it's just a time to come and just enjoy life. And you'll get to meet, different Awesome God Radio show hosts. I'll be there. It's a great place to come and network. Maybe you want to feel like God is calling you to be on a show to share your story or your business or your product. Just come out. Or if you just want to come play cards and have a good time. I don't get out too much, so I'm excited about meeting new people and doing something I love. But come out, people. Just come out. If you didn't register on the website, just come. We'll work out all the details. We want you to be able to come and enjoy playing cards, enjoy just hanging with people and just having a good time. So please, please, please come to the tournament. That's tomorrow at 6 o'clock at Liberty Outreach Center in Woodlawn. I will post the flyer again on my link, and you can see it on awesomegodradio.com. In closing, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you so much. Just continue to just love God, trust God, and be who you are. And I'll close with this. She thinks She feels, she hurts, she cries, she mourns, she struggles, she prays, she trusts, she asks for help, she endures, she strengthens, she refocuses, she rebuilds, and ultimately she heals. This is the She Heals Radio Show with your host, Whitney J. See you next Friday. God bless.